Welcome to Inside Abode, ladies and gentlemen. How are y'all doing? I'm your host, Dave Jones, and I'm here for another episode. This episode is going to be really quick and a really good one because I think it's going to be something that most people are going to want to hear. We're going to go over some stats, and there's national narratives versus local narratives, and it's going to be a really quick hitter for you. But I also have a special guest to share all of that information with us. And before I get to that part, y'all know what I'm finna say. Hit the subscribe button. It's right down there if you're watching it on YouTube. It's right there if you're listening to it in the Apple Podcast app. It's right there if you're hitting the Spotify. Just hit it, and then you're good. You're golden. All right. So we'll just make it quick, real quick, and then we'll get into it. Oh, your mic's not on. My mic is off. Was my mic off that whole time?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh wow, that's crazy. You missed the whole dope intro that I just
I
did.
know. I was hoping you were saying
Um,
something nice.
I was saying something real nice actually, and I don't even know if the people that are watching on live caught that. That's crazy because I
Dang.
just hit record and it just went, and then it like muted
Well,
itself.
I heard you at the beginning, and then like as soon as you told people to like and subscribe, you cut out.
Wow. Well, anyway, we're here now. That's what
Anyway,
happens when you go live. Everything, nothing happens. That's perfect. So,
yep.
anyway, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Long time listener, first time guest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what
So
they say on the
anyway,
radio, I think.
that's what they say on the radio. Um, no, so what I was telling people is that you are I'll just go back through it. You're a fifth year real estate agent.
Yes,
You're
sir.
a stadium and a Western grad. You are a former team captain of mine, and a former
Yep.
player on my team when I was coaching. You have a wife and two kids. You have a 2 month, 10 month, a 10 and a half month, 10 a month old, and a two and a
There
half
you
year
go.
old month old, and you're a newly minted CrossFit athlete. That's what I was saying. The
Hmm.
newly minted CrossFit
Yeah,
athlete.
yeah. We'll see about that one. It's quite the resume when you lay it out like that. I got a lot going
Yeah, it
on.
is, man. That's
Yep.
what I was saying. I'm tripping. Like I'm gonna go back. I want to go back and watch that on the live and to see how bad that was. Like I'm sitting there talking at the screen and there's nothing coming out. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So today we're talking about like national stats versus local stats, and you had some stuff to share. So I wanted to go through that and real quick before you need to get out of here.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so yeah, tell us more.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess first of all, I think the cool thing about being in real estate, I think, is that it's just a natural subject that comes up when you see people. I mean, you run into somebody at the grocery store, the coffee shop, whatever. I mean, real estate is on people's minds, whether they're talking about doing a project at their house or whether there's somebody who's currently in the market for a home or they're thinking about it. So um, it's a conversation that comes up a lot. And one of the things for me, when I start talking to people is usually somebody brings up some sort of stat, oh, I
Mm,
heard XYZ, or oh man, I saw on Instagram, or I'm gonna still call it Twitter, but I saw somewhere whatever's going on in the real estate market, and it's really interesting because a lot of what people are seeing is reflecting the national trends of the market in the United States as a whole,
mm,
and I think no matter where you are, there's always going to be some discrepancy, some difference between the national averages and what's going on in your local market.
right.
And I think specifically where we live, I mean, this is a place that has gotten so popular over, I'd say, the last 10 years, especially over the last 5 years. People are coming here in droves. People want to move here. There's a ton of companies moving here.
Yep.
I mean, Amazon, Microsoft, Google's blown up here. Facebook, obviously. So I think there's going to continue to be people moving here, and then not only on like the tech front, but we have military, we have other kinds of industry here. So I think it's really interesting to look at the national stats, and then kind of think about our geographic region and kind of compare and contrast. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do think that there are a couple kind of key points that when people hear stuff nationally, it might kind of give them the wrong impression of maybe what's going on here, and it might potentially keep them from jumping in when there might be an opportunity, or vice versa. But so the thing I was looking at in particular was there's a post by realtor.com. I'm sure a lot of listeners have heard of realtor.com or been on realtor.com. If they're,
can you see that? I got it up right here.
Yep. Yeah. So this is one of the stats. So 17% of sellers are slashing prices as more homes linger on the market. So I mean, there's kind of a couple nuggets in there. So I don't have the data on how many homes are seeing price reductions, but the median home in Pierce County, and then if you want to dive down further into Tacoma as a city within Pierce County, the median house is selling for just under 100% of the original list price. So somebody lists their house for $500,000. The median price it's selling for is somewhere like $495,000. It's not a huge a huge amount that prices are that prices are falling. Now, one of the other stats on there was about the median price itself. So nationally as a whole, the median price has fallen over the last year. Now, in Pierce County, the median price from February 2024 to February 2025 is up. It's only 1% increase, but it's still up. And in Tacoma, the median price is also up. It's up 3.7%. So 530,000 is the median price for Pierce County, and 480,500 is the median price for Tacoma. So prices are staying steady. They're actually increasing a little bit. So if you're looking at the national media saying prices are falling, that's not exactly what's happening in this area. One of the other ones I was looking at was home inventory. So one of the headlines that they have on there is there are 27.5% more homes on the market compared to a year ago. So nationally, there's a huge increase in inventory. 25, over a quarter more homes on the market now than there were a year ago. So I mean, similar things happening here, but not that extreme. In Pierce County, inventory is up 15%. So I mean, still a pretty good increase. And in Tacoma, it's only up 8%. So if you're looking around saying, man, homes are sitting on the market, there's a ton of homes for sale, maybe that's a sign of maybe the market weakening. Homes are up a little bit, but it's not as much as the national headlines would lead you to believe. And new listings are another one too. People are thinking, wow, the market's really expanding. There's going to be a ton of opportunity for me to buy homes. They're saying nationally listings are up 5% year over year. Pierce County is actually down 8%. So there's 8% less new homes that appeared February 2025 versus February 2024. And then in Tacoma, we're actually down 19% year over year. So there's down 19%
inventory.
Well, new listings that came on the market in February. Got it. So I don't have that exact amount. I do have it for Pierce County. So February 2024, 1,095 homes hit the market. February 2024. February 2025, a total of 1,001 homes hit the market.
Oh wow!
So there's actually less homes coming on the market now. I do want to say I think looking at a trend versus just like a month over month thing is probably going to be helpful. If we look at March and then April, we'll kind of see how those months compare and get an idea of where things are going. But again, it's a national headline telling you one thing is happening, and then needing to know if you're looking to buy a house in Pierce County or Tacoma, buy or sell. You need to get a good understanding of actually what's happening here, because that's going to help you make a more informed decision and put yourself in a more advantageous position.
Yeah. I think all that to be said too, like with in terms of the inventory, even with the inventory, even on the national level, like we still are in a seller's market because of what constitutes a balanced market, which is like, so some people say 3 to 6 months, some people say 4 to 6 months, either one. Like we're not there yet, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
not even in a
we're
balanced
we're
market.
we're way under that in terms of months of inventory.
Hmm.
And the other thing is, I always talk to people about, if house prices are going to fall. Here's my thing: interest rates were 8%, and prices maybe fell a little bit. If
Hmm.
8% interest rates aren't causing home prices to fall dramatically, I don't know what's going to cause that. I
Yeah,
mean, unless it's a full scale depression,
tariffs,
which,
like a global
yeah,
trade war that no one asked for. Like, yeah, that
yeah.
might, yeah,
So unless it's like a full scale economic meltdown, then I mean we're all kind of screwed. But
I have a hot take on that, by the way. I do have a
what's
hot
that?
take.
Yeah,
I,
go
I,
for
I
it.
do like, and I'm well documented on this podcast of saying this. Like, I do think that the economy needs to break in some way, shape, or form. And part of me, the hopeful, optimistic, glass half full part of me, thinks that all of this global trade war and all of this stuff, there's word that we might get a negative GDP reading. This week has been super volatile with all of the
Hmm.
reports that have come out. Waiting for George Lane's video to come out so I can get a quick little recap and synopsis of what happened with all the reports this week. But I do think that in a weird, chaotic, racist, orange kind of way, he's trying to break the economy, and then hopefully the Fed will lower rates because I don't see any other way out of getting rates lowered with the monetary policy that he's rolling out there. It's all inflationary. So
Yeah.
maybe it's the slashing of jobs, maybe it's the all of that that kind of breaks the economy, and then hopefully then Fed maybe might see that as a signal to be like, hey, we need to start lowering rates because things can get really bad. Maybe they front run it, but that's the hopeful,
It's
rosy,
above my pay grade.
rose-colored glass, Dave Jones
Yeah.
hot take. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
anyway,
you gotta find. I don't know if that's a silver lining, but with everything that's going on,
I, I
if you can find some potential good outcome, I think you gotta hope for it.
yeah, yeah, that's all I that's a hot take, but who knows? That's just rose-colored glasses. So
Yeah. Right.
anyway, sorry I cut you off. You were talking about rates, and I was just thinking about like how do we potentially lower rates with such a negative sentiment? That should be something that's on the table. So I don't know.
I would
Maybe
hope
not.
so.
I would hope. We'll see.
Yeah.
But even then, we don't
Uh.
have those rates, and this is still all happening that we're talking about.
Yep. Yep. We're still in it. Yeah, so I mean, I think those are the main things that just kind of caught my eye. This was
Mm-hmm.
a kind of impromptu podcast session, and um, again, like this is real stuff that we talk about day to day. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
again, the real estate conversations happen so frequently, and it really is always about what's going on currently, where are things going, when's the most opportune time for me to potentially buy or sell a home.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think if you're not talking to a local expert, if you're just going off of Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever the national aggregate news is, you're not really going to get a clear picture, and you're not going to be
Mm-hmm.
as informed as you need to be to make a decision that's going to ultimately put you in the best position. So
Agreed.
um, a couple of those things. But I think, yeah, if you're somebody who's looking to buy or sell real estate in Pierce County, um,
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to be aware of what's going on, because there are some good times to strike, and I think one of them might be just around the corner.
Call Ian Badillo for more
Do it.
tips and
Let's
all of
go.
that. That's the part you were supposed to say. I thought that was what you were going to end with. I was like,
I
well,
didn't I
shoot, I'll
didn't know if
say
it's
it.
supposed to be like a hard plug, but
I
yeah, man, feel
mean,
feel free to give me a call.
after what you just laid down, yeah, man, that's a hard plug. Shoot, you know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, let's go ahead. We all talk. Like at Abode, that's what we all know what we're talking about. So I
Yeah,
think that
exactly. I
people
mean,
should
that's the
be
that's the best part about working here is we share this
right.
knowledge, and we're all trying to be as up to date and in the know, so we can put our clients in the best position to succeed.
That's the name of the game, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing all that info with us. Do you have any more stats, or was that the part of the article, or was there
I
anything
mean,
else
it's
that you
it's
were
all
looking
it's
at?
all it's all kind of the same stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
the last note that I made here was, they say the typical home. So I don't know if that's an average or a median. In this office, I think we like to use median for a
Yeah.
lot of our stats. But
Yeah.
they said the typical home took 66 days to sell, which
Interesting.
is 5 days longer than it was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's the stat we like to call it days on market. It's how
Yeah.
many days a house is on the market before it goes under contract. So Pierce County and Tacoma, respectively, are both up, but it's a really small margin. They're only up 1 and 2 days
Okay.
from their days on market last year, February. But compared to nationally, when it took 66 days for I assume, median house to sell, it's only
Mm-hmm.
taking 21 days in Pierce County and 19 days in Tacoma.
Mm. Okay.
So the sales cycle is much, much shorter here. And I think if that tells you anything, it's just the market here is still hot. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not 2021 when everything was selling in 3 days,
Right.
um, but compared to the national median, it's
It's
selling,
moving.
yeah, selling 5 weeks, 5 weeks shorter
Yeah.
than
And
than the rest of the country.
one thing I want to add to that, that I've seen just from where I sit is the transactions, and this is new. This is for buyers, sellers, agents, all of the above. The transactions that we're seeing right now aren't easy. Like there's because money is so expensive, then
Hmm.
there's more at stake, and so people are more diligent.
Hmm.
People are in the inspection process, more wary of stuff. And if there's like a roof and it's 20K or whatever, you're going to negotiate over that. And that might
Yeah, for
get
sure.
a little back and forth. And I think that, like when the rates were really low, like it was so competitive because they were so low and there were so many people in that some of that stuff kind of got just, you had to waive it because if
Right.
not, then someone else was willing to scoop it up. And we're not in that environment. We haven't been for a long time now. And I'm hoping people are getting used to that because with these rates, and even though the market is moving, that does not mean that things aren't more sticky, if that makes sense. But
Yeah.
that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be like I'm gonna waive everything because I can't even get into this house. Like the way it is now, actually, in my opinion, is kind of what it should be like because we want both parties to get what we want it to be a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're back to negotiating the terms of a contract.
Right.
Uh,
Yep.
2021, it was you write everything down on a piece of paper. There's no terms really except for price, and
Yep.
there's nothing to negotiate. You just hope your financing goes through and you make it to the closing table. But yeah, now we're having inspection negotiations. There are things
Yep.
happening. Yeah, buyers are getting sewers paid for. So yeah, having an agent that understands the market that we're in and how to adequately represent buyers and sellers can do you a lot of good.
All right. Well, man, thanks for all the info. How do people get in touch with you if they want to know more?
Hey, well, I think if they could see that
Oh
right
man.
there, my Instagram
Uh-oh.
handle is right there. You can check me out there.
There you go. Now
I'm
you
I'm
go.
down here. I'm down here at the Windermere Abode office in Old Town Tacoma, right here on the corner of 30th, across the street from Current Coffee. Come through. I'll buy you a cup of coffee. We can talk shop.
All right, there you go, man. Well, I'll let you get to your CrossFit.
Got to
Go
get
get your
after it, man.
go get after it. And thanks for all the stats, man. And for everybody else, make sure you tune in next week. That was great stats. If you want to know more, hit Ian up. I'll leave the information in the comments. And with that, we'll see
There you
y'all
go.
next time.
All right. Thanks,
Peace.
Coach.
Yes, sir. Yeah.